I'm happy.
I'm getting happy.
When you finished filming Yellowstone, did you think like, all right, our story's over? Or you're like, no, there's more to tell?
God, I was kind of 50-50 on it. I mean, there were some rumblings when we finished doing Yellowstone that there could be something in the future for Beth and I. And I thought, well, you know what, let's see how it shakes out. And obviously, about 3 months later, they gave me a shout and said, what are you thinking? And I thought, let's get some writers in a room and let's start throwing shit against the wall.
You happy, sweetheart?
I am.
So much of what people loved about Yellowstone, which explains the whole spinoff, is, they loved Beth and Rip. What makes them so strong together?
I've thought about it, and I've actually had people come up and talk about it, but I think it's they're flawed, They're not perfect. They love each other with such a passion, but support each other. They're extremely loyal. I think they're a powerhouse together too. I mean, they're kind of a yin to their yang. And the two of them combined together is just kind of immovable force of nature. So it's great to kind of have this next iteration of the two of them going into a place that's totally new. With new challenges.
Oh my God.
Get Carter and get out of here.
Last time we saw Beth and Rip, they were disposing of Jamie's body and hiding him before they go on their new adventure.
Yeah.
Is that something that they're still worried about people finding out?
Better clean up. Maybe. Maybe some old ghosts might come to haunt them, but who could possibly know about it? Rip is very good at hiding evidence, so it's their skeletons in their cupboard, and they might prove to be their weakness or their strength. Who knows?
Oh, I'm over Jamie. I know she is too. But no, I think, ultimately in the beginning, they're trying to find peace and a bit of a serenity, and that all comes crashing down and literally lightning strikes. And, they have to rebuild. They have to start over, and they take this enormous risk, going to Texas, and, Walker calls them and says, hey, there's a place down there. And they go down there and, are challenged with what you're going to see this year. So it's exciting. I like seeing them a little on the back foot versus on all, offense.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Beulah Jackson. I own this joint.
Well, one person who I know would love to have all of your skeletons is Beulah. Obviously, we know Beth for so long and we know how powerful she is. What kind of makes Beulah the perfect kind of adversary, a worthy nemesis for Beth?
I think Beulah admires Beth and sees someone that she's not really seen before in her own world. Beth and Rip come to Texas. They come to my ranch. They come needing something from me. So I just love that in the writing. I think it's really intriguing.
Extortion.
Shame you see it that way.
It's the only way to see it.
Well, darling, I guess you'll just have to slaughter your steers elsewhere.
And I don't really know their history, but I come to learn about their history. And that the more that sort of comes to light, the more the stakes get higher and higher, and the more we need each other. But I think that she is admiring of Beth, and she's also a bit intimidated, although she wouldn't show that.
Same. They understand each other, as well. There's an understanding of what it takes to be these type of women.
Maybe I'll carve them myself.
Who knows? You may cotton to it.
Maybe I will.
Let's start with Joaquin. I mean, his relationship with Beulah, I feel like mommy issues doesn't even begin to scratch the surface.
Thank you for finally saying something.
That is exactly what it is. It's a bunch of mommy issues. I'll handle it.
No, you get someone to handle it. Then you find your brother.
Anything else, Mother? Yeah, when you get that feeling that you've done everything right, and that you have worked all your life, to accomplish something and to fit and to belong, and suddenly you are at risk of losing everything, right? Everything you've worked so hard. So that's what Joaquin is facing all the time. It doesn't matter how hard you work, it's never going to be enough. And that is a very tiring kind of feeling. So that's how I kind of approach the work with him.
There's a great scene in the first episode, kind of a mirror to Yellowstone, where Beth has the opportunity to, she finds the horse on the side of the road, and she does what John did not do. What do you think that says about sort of how much she's grown and changed?
To do that takes great courage. To put an animal out of its misery, that is not a pleasant thing for John Dutton to have to do, but he was capable of doing it. And I thought about that scene a tremendous amount because it was a homage to Yellowstone and it was homage to John Dutton, but it was also where the roads maybe divide.
If this was a man, would you try to save him? Would you do everything you could?
And I felt like Beth choosing something different was layered in the fact that she's trying to choose a different path of happiness, maybe that John was more rigid with. Maybe she has more of a luxury because she doesn't have a ranch to take care of anymore. So I think that it was just a moment for Beth to maybe she looks at that horse and she sees such a vulnerability. And Beth is really good when she's taking care of something. So I wanted to give her something to love, you know. But yeah, she sees that it could be saved and Ed Harris comes to save the horse. Yeah.
I think that moment is a beautiful opportunity to see how much Beth has evolved, because her first instinct is to put the horse out of its misery. That is what her, default was going to be. And in that moment, there is space for her to reconsider, and there's a moment to pause and breathe and change her mind. And I think there's a piece that has come to both Beth and Rip since the chapter of Yellowstone has closed that allows them to become a different version of themselves. And they are still the fiery, dangerous, complicated characters that we know them to be, but they've evolved, and it's beautiful to see them evolve.
This is kind of a simple question, but why Texas?
I think Yellowstone, the name of the show was a place. It was a physical place. And in order to really tell a story about characters moving on from that legacy to the new one, a new landscape was required. It's a very classically Western archetype to go out into a new frontier, into a place where you do not have allies or roots or resources, and to see if you can make it. And in many ways, that's what Beth and Rip are doing in Texas.
I think you lost this.
We've got one from the Dutton Ranch, we've got one from the Jackson Ranch. Is this going to be like a Romeo and Juliet story we've got going on here?
A little bit, yeah. Some people have said that it's resembles that a bit, yeah.
All of them.
Oriana is Trouble with a capital T.
Mm-hmm.
How much fun is she to play? Because she's so much fun to watch.
Oh my God, such a dream. Every episode she's doing something fun and crazy and just out of this world, and it's so fun playing a character that has no kind of boundaries and says exactly what she wants to. And especially in this universe, there's so many different powerful women and female characters that being able to be part of that it's such a dream.
Yeah. She seems like she'd be a dangerous character if she gets bored.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that there are a couple points of this show where she gets a little, not bored, but has moments of...
Yeah, she wants to around with some people.
Yeah, she definitely... We're going to find out.
Yeah. And why not? We can't wait to find out.
Yeah, me too.
What are her intentions with our boy Carter?
I think that she's seen something very genuine within him. I think that both of the characters, they come from very troubled backgrounds and have hard pasts. And meeting Carter, it's the first time that she has felt that she can be herself around somebody. So I think that her intentions are always pure, but I think that she has a way of pushing people away. Let's just say their relationship is very up and down. It's a roller coaster.
Carter's such an interesting character at this juncture. Kind of, he's 19, he's an adult, but I feel like Beth and Rip still kind of treat him. They protect him a little bit. They treat him like a kid. Do you feel like he's kind of treated with child gloves too much?
I think he can think that at times, for sure, especially with some decisions that are made in episode 3 and 4. Carter wants to be part of the fold. He wants to, make a name for helping his family out, I think. So, when he feels that, he's not being given the independence he wants, or not even the independence, when he's not given the responsibility, he wants to go find his own independence.
And that's where he gets into trouble.
That's where he gets into trouble. That's where everything starts falling apart, yeah.